Good afternoon, Keith Tebow, FRCmedia. Thank you for joining us. It's been a little bit of time since we've checked in to get a pulse of our local businesses on the South Coast. And when we do that, we always like to be joined by our friends at the One SouthCoast Chamber. And this time, we're only joined by one of the co-CEOs, co-CEO Michael O Sullivan. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing well, Keith. Good to see you again.
Good to be seen, and I guess Rick Kidder is, off. He's got better things to do, I guess, right? For
Well,
this
he's a
this
little
edition.
busy now because he's trying to wrap a few things up before he heads to Spain on Friday.
Oh,
Tough
the
life.
hardships, right? Yeah, I know the hardships. So I just want to again, get an update on how things are happening in terms of businesses on the South Coast and some of the members of the chamber. We last spoke probably early summer. Soon after restrictions were released, we talked about how things were picking up. Now that we're at the unofficial end of summer, give us an overview on how our South Coast businesses have fared through the summer as we head into early fall.
Well, Keith, for the most part, it was a very good summer, and we're headed into what should be a good fall. Um, two two biggest problems have not changed: staffing and childcare. And they are if we could get over the hump with staffing in particular, which childcare is a function of, um, or is a function of childhood. Excuse me, is a function of child care, I should say. Um, the economy, the local economy, would be really humming. It's doing well, but it's not humming like it really, really could be, because you have still too many restaurants that are, too many restaurants that are not open 7 days like they normally would be because of staffing. You've got retailers that are not open, all the hours that they normally would be. It's hard when when you cannot get enough staffing. There's a lot of places that are normally still open this week that have just taken, the 4 days off, um, Tuesday through uh, Friday. They've added those as days off this week because they need the break. So it's the economy would be humming, uh, much more than it already is.
Yeah, but in some ways, we're actually in a better spot than we were, say, a year ago during 2020 in terms of the COVID situation. Let me ask you this: as of Monday, the extended unemployment benefits, the federal extended unemployment benefits, which provided $300 extra for those collecting unemployment, that expired. Are some of your members hoping that this may be a catalyst to get people back to work?
I think everyone's hoping that it's a catalyst to get people back to work. It's $300 is a lot of money, but you have to understand that through this, through the last year, if people are going to be able to make that kind of money and not have to work for it, there's a party that can understand why they're taking the money. Well, now it's not there anymore, so now we're really hoping to get back to work. So, as I said earlier, so we can really make the economy start humming the way it can be.
Yeah. Now, going back to tourism and hospitality, we've talked about this before. Is a big economic driver of our region. You talked about how some restaurants, were not able to open, fully because of the staff shortages. But in those industries, in particular, were they able to do somewhat a lot better than they were a year ago? And is there a path, I guess, for them as we look to 2022? With a lot of unknowns, that whether they'll be back to where they were pre-pandemic.
Those industries are all, the restaurants are doing better than they were a year ago. The hotels are doing better than they were a year ago, but they are still very much struggling. I know of, some hotels where the owners or families, the owners' families are washing dishes in the restaurants, making the beds, cleaning the rooms, doing all those kinds of things. It's the type of work that you just don't normally hear the owner and or their families doing. It's all about staffing.
Yeah. And does this, maybe impact a little bit more, the smaller businesses? When you think of hospitality, restaurants and the like, you've got, the chains, that, are all across the country. Then you've got the smaller restaurants, and in some ways, even some of the smaller hotels, you've got the big chains, Marriott's and Hyatt's and what have you. But then you've got small beds and breakfasts. Is there a fear that those smaller institutions, have been, they've definitely been more greater impacted by COVID? Are there a fear that they may not recover at all, even after some sort of recovery?
There's definitely a concern that they may not recover at all. Um, the the important thing is in some of the really small ones, if they're not dependent upon staffing and they run it all by themselves, then they don't have the staffing challenges. But most at least have two or three people. Um, it's just very tough to predict what's going to happen with staffing. We have a job fair in next week on September 15th, and we're very interested to see how many job seekers we actually have come. We're doing a lot to promote it, but attendance at some other job fairs around the Northeast has not been what it has been in the past. So we're a little concerned about that, but I think that'll be a good indication for us of things to come if we get a good turnout.
Yeah, give us a little bit more information on that. That was one of the things I wanted to cover. What can people expect if they're going to the job fair next week on the 15th?
We've got about 100 employers coming to the job fair, presenting, looking for workers, and it's a very, very wide variety of employers. You've got big employers, you've got small employers, you've got restaurants, you've got just about every sector of business is covered, and it covers employers from Providence all the way down to Wareham, just about on the Cape. So it's great opportunities for people to come and see and look at all the different types of jobs that there are available today. Many people are looking to hire immediately, so we think it's going to really help. And one of the reasons we waited to do it until September 15th was to let the federal unemployment incentive let that expire.
Yeah. And and are you hopeful that, a number of people will attend? I guess what is the what's the feeling of those that are looking to fill jobs? Are they hopeful that this will be, a boost to what they need to fill?
I think everybody is hoping that it'll be a real boost. But realistically, I don't think people are expecting it to be quite as large as it has in the past, just based on, the way the economy has been and the job seekers have been recently. But I do think that people are very optimistic, and we're very optimistic that we'll get a good crowd, and that we'll be able to help some of the local businesses fill jobs.
And all people need to do is just attend and bring their resume, basically, and just talk to these people.
Yes, bring plenty of resumes, and just be ready to speak and sell yourself. You to people about many types of jobs, and just need to start those conversations, fill out applications, and be ready to get to work.
Yeah, in terms of potential other openings, we talked about hospitality and restaurants. Are there any other, opportunities in some other business sectors that are seeking? How about, manufacturing has always been, something that's been important in this region. How are those other sectors faring in terms of needing employees?
Um, Everybody needs employees. Amazon needs employees. Blau Food needs employees. Gold Medal Bakery needs employees, and I just say those three because they're some of the largest employers in the community, and they really need them. They need workers. There is not a sector of business or a size of business that is immune in this economy. So whatever type of work anybody's interested in, I promise you, there's work out there.
Yeah. One final topic I want to broach today is Leadership South Coast. The Leadership South Coast has kind of fallen under the umbrella of the One SouthCoast Chamber. I'm a graduate of Leadership South Coast 2013, proud graduate. And the chamber today just announced a new leader at Leadership South Coast. Tell us a little bit about Donna Criscolo.
Keith, we're very excited to have Donna Criscolo take over as the executive director of Leadership South Coast. She starts in October. She's closing out a couple of programs where she is right now, but Donna has a lot of experience working in the nonprofit sector. She's been managing or leading E for All South Coast now for 3 years. She's well connected in the community, but she's just a believer in the importance of leadership and where leadership can help businesses. So we're very, very excited to have Donna on board. She's a real go-getter, and she's experienced in the field. And leadership is such a great program, and we're very excited that we were able to work with the board at leadership and come to the conclusion back at the end of June that we would take over the chamber. And even though it's already September and we're higher, we've been working with Donna to try to get come to a good start date. And our board and the advisory board from Leadership South Coast said to us, we want the program to be a quality program when you guys really get it started up again. So it's the hope is that we get it, or the plan is we would get it going in the first quarter of January, of 2022. And we're really excited. She's going to do great things with the program, and she's going to be able to engage the alumni like yourself, and their board is now an advisory board, and those folks are very excited. So we're really, really just looking forward to getting Leadership South Coast going again, and Donna's going to be a great leader. We're really fortunate that Donna became available and interested in the program.
Yeah, no doubt it's a great asset for our region, and it kind of builds the capacity in a number of ways for those of us who have been fortunate enough to go through it, and those who will go through it in the future. All right, Michael O Sullivan, co-CEO of the One SouthCoast Chamber. I appreciate your time, and we'll have to make sure Rick brings some photos from his vacation next time he joins us.
I'll tell him. Thank you very much. Take care, Keith.
Take care. All right. And thank you for joining us here on FRC Media. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great day.